Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you are all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And yesterday the CDL team packs dropped into Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. This is a great thing on the whole, right? These new camos and, well, skins and new items, a lot of them are kind of cool, coming into the game already before the season even launches. But it's the team camos themselves which have raised some questions these last 24 hours or so. Camos, of course, are the most important thing in these packs. These are the things that a lot of people had high expectations for, especially given some of the great mock-ups from designers in our community we're going to look at in the coming minutes here. Those are the things that someone, if you're not involved too closely with the COD team, but you see a very cool camo, you might buy the pack, you might then become a fan of the team, but it is those team camos which seem to be a letdown for a lot of people in the community today, and I'm intrigued to hear your perspective in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. Just to mention quickly, a couple of days time, Hector Rodriguez with Scraps G is going to be a podcast and another Easter episode coming up relatively soon. Also to mention right here, we talked about these patch notes, right? Okay, this movement change, is it intentional? What exactly is going on? Treyarch confirmed this is indeed intentional, added a small speed penalty and jump height penalty after landing from a jump. So yeah, we'll continue to monitor this change in the live environment going forwards, but some players kind of like it, some players don't seem to be too happy, as we've talked about the last couple of days. The other part is that these preset classes are now officially in the game. This article right here from Breaking Point breaks down exactly everything that's in all of these classes. If you guys want to check that out, I'll leave it linked down below if you guys want to know exactly what you might have to be using in League Play when it drops on February the 8th. So lots of things happening as of late. Pretty exciting stuff. But yesterday in the game, we get these team camos that arrive into the title. So as COD League say, ready for the new season, Call of Duty League team packs now available in the store. Show us which team you are supporting in game. Kind of a nice video here. They go through all the team camos. Honestly, a lot of the things that you can wear, like a lot of the wearable items, are honestly really quite nice. They are just straight up copy and paste type stuff, but they're in the game at the very least. And there's a lot of things that are involved with these team packs that aren't just the gear, right? You've got, I mean, as they go through right here, you've got the weapon charms, you've got the calling cards, the emblems, the stickers, all this type of stuff. So weapon camos as well. And in this image, they actually look kind of nice. But when we look at them in a little bit more detail, they haven't quite got that maybe personalized touch. You've got the watches as well that I think a lot of people would like to have seen, right? And in previous Call of Duty games, we tend to have a situation where, okay, we've at least got the team logo on the weapon in some form or another, just to show that it is actually part of that team. But effectively what we have this season is the team camos are just really like, well, skins of the colors of that team, and especially because we've got teams like LA Thieves, we've got teams like Atlanta FaZe who have pretty much the same colors. They're not necessarily getting the colors that they wanted for their lineup. The way to differentiate that, of course, in an ideal world would just to have been put the team logo on the gun. Doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. So as LA say, look, come and get them in game right now. Operator skin, you've got the two different variants, weapon camo, watch, weapon charm, calling card, emblem, and sticker. So a lot of things in all of these team camos and team packs even, and honestly, on the whole, I think it's a pretty good job well done. To have these in the game this early, of course, it's an expectation now we're in a franchise league, but you know, at least there's some steps in the right direction right here. But it is these weapon camos which are causing some of the concerns. So as you can see right here, these are all the things you get, and the weapon camo on this screen looks kind of nice, looks kind of vibrant, looks like something you might want to have. But when you look at it on certain weapons, it's not exactly as appealing, right? So as Chrome tweets out, closer look at the weapon camos, this is what we're looking at here. So this is on Express, I believe this is like either the LA Thieves one or the Atlanta FaZe one, probably the LA Thieves one, but how could I even tell, right? There's no logo on this, it's the color scheme of the Los Angeles Thieves, but it's got the grey on it, and I think the grey might have even been the Atlanta FaZe one. So genuinely, I'm not even sure 100% what camo this is. The colors are kind of similar across the both of them. It'd be very nice indeed, of course, if it was just to say on the weapon like Atlanta FaZe, it had like a, you know, logo on it or something of that effect. That would be a standard type stuff here on Express. You've also got what I believe is the OpTic Gaming one, right, with the OpTic Gaming colors, but there's a lot of black in here. It's not exactly spectacular, it's not super vibrant here on the XM4, and this might seem somewhat nitpicky, but at the same time, the camos are such an important element to these packs, right? If you get the camos right, these packs will sell out in waves, because the other things in the game, people don't really care too much, I imagine, about wearing like an operator skin. I think people do obviously buy it and stuff like that, but I don't really care too much about wearing an operator skin because I can't really see it myself. But if I've got a camo in the game, that's something which I really enjoy playing with, right? And the camos just, well, they make the game work. The weapon is the most important thing on your screen at any one time, and well, it seems to me that they've kind of, well, maybe dropped the ball to some degree with these camos. You can see right here as well, this is urban camo from way back in Modern Warfare 2, which Omar was pointing out, and I think you got this for like 30 headshots way back in the day. This, of course, is on the FAMAS, and well, as you can see, comparing this camo to this like a LA Thieves Atlanta FaZe one, whatever exactly it is, it's basically just the same thing, right? It's just a reskinned camo that we've had in several titles. This is the type of camo you get where it's just above like the DevGru 10 headshot, 20 headshots with those like brown and grey colors. Then you get a slightly better version with some reds involved, and it's basically what we're getting nowadays, right? And it's kind of unfortunate to see, especially compared to some of the mock-ups that people have done over time, and it's also pretty lackluster compared to what we had back in Call of Duty Black Ops 3. This is the Black Ops 3 camos, this was the OpTic gaming one, and these aren't exactly spectacular. They're also in 240p right here, but yeah, these aren't exactly the best camos in the world, but they have the Team Camo one. I think especially the Cloud9 one I used to rock quite a lot. I had the North American and the European pack when they added them back in the day, because the European ones, there were some really nice ones. I thought the Millennium one especially was pretty cool, and well, obviously they were pretty much just reskins of this. They had a certain color scheme, they had the logos on, but at least they were pretty vibrant. They showed what team it was. You could support your particular team by buying that team pack, but yeah, this time around it's not exactly the same. I mean, yeah, it just doesn't have quite the same vibrance, and I think, well, I think maybe they've dropped the ball somewhat in terms of how good these camos are, because as I say, if you get the camos right, the packs will sell out in droves and potentially introduce so many new fans to the competitive Call of Duty scene. As you know, as Accidentally says, Black Ops 3 pics in 240p, but they still look better. And as Chance Mork says, there are a lot of passionate individuals like Lion who could create way better skin concepts than this. Just so disappointing being let down year after year by people who just don't care. So pretty damning words from Morks towards, well, the developers, I suppose, who have worked on these. Saint says a similar thing. Black Ops 3, Advanced Warfare, and MWR have the best camos and calling cards, etc. Don't add me muting this convo. And yeah, definitely Black Ops 3, Advanced Warfare, MWR actually had some pretty nice ones as well. So yeah, maybe Saint has a fair point on this one, but certainly I think a lot of people, including Saint and Morks, feeling somewhat let down by these camos that are in the game right now, because it's a great way to grow the scene in theory. Just seems like maybe they haven't put all the effort in that may have been required to and rushed these out to some degree. There's a few concepts as well, but Shotzzy seems relatively happy with it, right? Tweet me some pics of the camo. I think the Dallas Empire one isn't too bad, all things considered. It does seem to depend to what weapon it's on, how good it looks. But just comparing that to some of the concepts, you know, horizontal, for example, like this right here, he made even a graphic of it. As you can see, this Los Angeles Thieves MP5 variant that he put together with all the nice camos and stuff. And it does seem somewhat frustrating. We've got guys like Horizontal, we've got guys like Lion, of course, making this. I mean, this is what he did for the Atlanta FaZe one. As you can see, it's very bright, it's very vibrant. The entire weapon is covered in certain things. The Atlanta FaZe logo is pretty clear. This is something I'd love to rock in the game compared to, well, for example, this that we seem to have at the present time. Lion also, well, made effectively a portfolio over at breakingpoint.gg of all of his CDL camos that he's ever made. I just picked out a few nice ones that I particularly like. This is from Black Ops 4, the Maddox, for example. You could have the, you know, you could have the player name on it, for example. You could have all sorts of different colors, and this is what people like. They like something vibrant, they like something that's interesting, something which maybe even moves, potentially a reactive camo or something of the sort. This is the Sorg 100 Thieves with a Priestahh's name on it, for example, that Lion has added to his camos as of late, which is, well, something which doesn't seem to be anywhere near for the ones that we actually have in the CDL. And this also, right, Lion, this is still my personal favorite, this OpTic Gaming Los Angeles one from the start to last season, when it's kind of pulsing throughout the weapon. I mean, it honestly looks so nice. We could have something like this in the game in theory, you'd imagine, at some point, but now, like, the official team pack is in the game, are they going to change these camos? I mean, this one, you can see the logo on it to some degree, the way it's designed, it's just so cool, and the reactive element of it as well is something which people, I'm sure, would lap up in the game. They'd be like, damn, this camo's the coolest. And if you really want to promote the CDL, these are the type of camos that you want to be making the best possible camos in the game. If someone dies to a camo like this, they're going to be like, damn, where did he get that camo from? That's so sick. Try and find out exactly who they died to. Whereas if you die to a camo like this, you're probably thinking, okay, this guy just got 30 headshots on his on his assault rifle, right? Which is basically what this camo looks like. So I think a lot of the frustrations are somewhat warranted here. Was pretty entertaining as Crone tweets out, the camos could be worse. Never forget the ones we had in World War II. I'm not sure if you guys think these actually are better or worse, because even though these were incredibly lazy, right, it is just copy and paste, Control-C, Control-V, the OpTic Gaming camo all over the weapon. At least it is an OpTic Gaming camo, right? I don't know, like, it's not exactly spectacular by any means, but I may just prefer this to, you know, what we have right now. Like, would you prefer this camo right here, or would you prefer, I mean, you know, the one that Crow was just tweeting out? I don't really know, it's somewhat tough to say. At least it did promote the team to some degree, you could argue. And just a couple of interesting things to finish off the video. This came out from Doug Lieb yesterday. General, so addressed some things. We looked at those patch notes a little bit earlier, but he added another one, made 3-digit values on the scoreboard smaller and harder to read. And this wasn't actually in the patch notes, but I seem to have seen a couple of screenshots from the Codcaster, for example, where actually, well, they made the 3-digit value smaller. When it gets to over 100 points, then for some reason the numbers become smaller than they were before. I thought the Codcaster was really nice, that upcoming, you know, that first weekend at the CDL kickoff, but now for the upcoming season, seems like they may have actually somehow managed to make it worse. So hopefully that's not the case. Maybe it's just the scoreboard and not actually on the Codcaster itself. But yeah, Doug Lieb doesn't seem particularly happy about this change, even though, well, it wasn't actually announced on the patch notes or anything, so maybe it wasn't intentional. unintentional or something like that. Thought this is interesting as well, given that new patch update, some frustrations about exactly some of the consequences of it. As Arcitys says, I got a neutral host, so a lot of the teams, if you're a team like Atlanta scrimming up against the New York Subliners, you might want to find a neutral host in some location where it gives each team a relatively decent ping to the matchup, like you would actually be playing in a situation for the CDL on one of their servers. But as Arcitys says, I got a neutral host taking my lives in control. What happened to the extra Codcaster spot? So maybe something going wrong right here. I'm going to start swinging. So this guy, Get Good Host 17, is hosting the match. For some reason, he ends up being on their team and is taking lives away in control and is spawning it on top of the roof here in the hard points instead of Arcitys. So yeah, pretty entertaining stuff. Maybe something they need to think about. And also just thought I'd mention this, given we're talking about all the things that the COD League are adding into the game. Client Activision Paper Crown say they're introducing the CDL Pick'em. We had this last season as well, but I thought this video was kind of nice that they put together here, explaining exactly how you can do these predictions for the upcoming season. And yeah, certainly something you might want to get involved with. This video is like way over the top. The music in the background is crazy. It's so intense. But as you can see, you can log in, you can go to my predictions and predict all the matches and win some prizes as a result. There's some Astro headsets and stuff like this on the line for, well, the players that do the best. I remember there was $100,000 on the line if you got everything right, predicted it at the World Championship last year. But yeah, that was never going to happen in reality. But maybe this season and that will happen to one of you. Intrigued to hear your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm and know you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well. And I'll grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you much again as always. Take care. And I will see you next time.